Hello and happy lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. If you participated in the poll about whether you wanted a tarot read or a sound bath, thank you for weighing in. As you can see, the tarot read won out. On a personal note, I'm not entirely surprised. It has been a crazy couple of weeks. As you might recall,
The world is really all about completion. Eight of Wands is all about traveling. Nine of Swords. There might be a lot of anxiety around what you have to move into.
so, yeah, a lot of that stuff came true for me. It's been a really big and busy couple of weeks. I was pretty shocked at how many things came to fruition. So, I invite you to think back to what was going on about 2 weeks ago. And if you did watch the last video, if you were setting intention with me then, check back in with yourself, see what things changed, see if things have come to fruition. And tonight, as we do this tarot poll, we can think more about the ways in which new guidance can help us close out some of that intention or close out that cycle that we started 2 weeks ago. So, as a reminder, lunar eclipses, any eclipse, is really a pathway and a way for us to find an ending, to close a door. And sometimes those closures can be painful, they can be unexpected, and a lot of growth will come from them. We just might not be able to see how it's all going to come together at the time that it happens. Sometimes there are things that need to end in our life that we wouldn't necessarily do on our own, right? The universe has to step in and says, I decree that this is what's going to happen. And so it is. So let's all go ahead, take a moment, close your eyes, start to feel some deep cleansing breaths coming into your body. Notice your chest rising and falling. See if you can sink a little bit more deeply into the present moment, letting go of anything that you need to get done, anything that went unsaid. You can always come back to it later. And begin to think about something now that perhaps you want to close out. Maybe something that you're ready to shed, something that no longer serves you, or something you've had a hard time shaking or moving on from. And let's see if we can get some information and a nudge in the right direction of where else you can go and how else you can think about this situation. Tonight, in light of all the things that I know have been happening with friends, with family, with work, I'd like to do a more specific read. What you need to know, a new perspective and an action to take. Particularly in light of the intention that we set a few weeks ago, I think to dig into what we need to do to close that out can be important. What you need to know, a new perspective, and action to take. What you need to know, the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is about having worked really, really hard to craft something that you want to see come to fruition, most likely with a professional endeavor. However, remember that if you only surround yourself with being a perfectionist in your life and being someone who is so financially driven and type A, that you can be also very lonely and you might not have as many friends and family and confidants around you because you are so specific and stuck on doing things a certain way in the way that you see fit that you close everyone and everything else out. This card oftentimes is associated with high achieving women, women who really want to prove something, to be something, to make something. And leadership in and of itself can be a very lonely position, but particularly if you are part of a group, right? And for women, female professionals, it can be very challenging to be in a leadership role and to hold your ground. So this card would invite you to soften and to maybe not be quite so focused on being perfect. Don't isolate yourself. A new perspective, the Three of Swords. Ouch. So, as I was saying, being alone can be very, very painful. It can be very isolating. Perhaps you can let go of needing to be perfect and needing to be the boss so that you can overcome how much it hurts when you are isolated or by yourself. An action to take. Queen of Wands. Oh, yeah. This is the Witch of the Tarot deck. A woman in total control of herself. That's what Witch stands for. So this card would say, you are a magical human being. You have at your fingertips a lot of gifts that you can draw upon. That life is about more than just money and jobs and productivity. Being able to draw upon other gifts that you have, spiritual gifts, is also an extremely important thing and will also result in financial endeavors, right? So use the other tools in your toolkit to draw money to you, abundance. And holding your ground is not always going to be the best course of action. Being defensive all the time can really hold you back from finding your joy, finding your peace. Yeah. For some of you, maybe there's been a big breakup, or there's been, and not just necessarily with a lover, though that's what the card would show, but with a relationship that felt really important, with it, with an endeavor that felt like it was paramount to you. And it does hurt. It does hurt when things end. But you have all the tools in your toolkit. You are a magical person able to cultivate new opportunities, new financial endeavors. You know how to hold your ground. I think the biggest thing is simply to be patient. Use your brain, use your faculties, use everything at your disposal to move forward. And even though it really hurts when deeply personal relationships come to an ending and come to a close, sometimes it is from those really painful moments where the most growth happens. If we're constantly numbing out the things that cause us pain and discomfort, we're not able to say, I acknowledge that this is not right for me. I acknowledge that this is giving me anxiety. This shell is too small for me to live in anymore. I need to level up. I need to move on. Discomfort is what takes you to that place. So things like pain and heartbreak, yes, of course, painful in the moment. Pain is not fun, but discomfort leads to growth and discovery. So trust that. Trust that as you come into things that are closing out and that you're shedding in this next 2-week time frame as we close out this eclipse cycle, trust that that's opening up new opportunities for you. Stay open to abundance and don't feel like you have to clamp down on your money. Don't let money make you lonely. I hope that this was helpful. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and take care. I hope you have a great eclipse season. Good luck.